has the right to expel Greece. And that's why the European Commission will keep trying to renew talks with Greece.
Today, based on the referendum results, we see no premises for talks on the new bailout programme.
So what they've got to say your end in New York about this then? Why the difference of opinion, do you think?
Well, at stake is the fact that debts that can't be paid won't be. Syriza's position all along has said, we'd like to pay, but there's no money. That's a very polite way of saying, if you try to insist in collecting the debts we owe, these debts are odious debts. We are not going to pay the IMF. We are not going to pay the European Central Bank. What are you going to do to us? Well, what they're doing to Greece is trying to smash it. They're saying, if you don't impose austerity, and what we're really after, what the Europeans really want is for Greece to sell off its public domain. It wants the gas rights. It wants the islands. It wants to take over whatever public transport facilities and infrastructure there is. And the Greeks are saying, absolutely no, we're just not going to do. What are you going to do to us? There isn't any way of really forcing a country out of the Eurozone. Nothing was ever put, and so that was always a...
Greece wants more money now. You know, a lot of people in Europe are saying, well, let's throw good money after bad. What is going to happen, do you think?
No, Greece does not want more money. Greece is self-sustaining. It doesn't need more money. What it wants is...
It wants a big haircut.
Taking a haircut, and we're talking 100%. We're talking about decapitation now, not a haircut. There is no money to pay, and Greece together will not pay. So it has enough money to get by itself. It is not asking for money. What has happened for the last 6 months is what Yanis Varoufakis called extend and pretend. Syriza's position was, we'll be glad to pay the IMF and the European Central Bank if you lend us the money to repay yourself. We don't care what you do. You're just adding the money and adding to the debt, but it doesn't matter how much you add, we're not going to pay.
And of course, if you're looking at this, sorry, Mike, if you're looking at this in Spain, Portugal, Italy, they have to put up with a lot of cutbacks to meet the...
Shame on their
They're looking at Greece saying, no way, you guys shouldn't be able to get away with this. You can't blame them, can you?
Of course you can blame them. Their corrupt, rotten governments never should have bailed out private bondholders and private bank holders at public expense. Their government leaders were neoliberal, and they're going to be thrown out in the next election. If a population decides to commit suicide by having leaders as bad as Tony Blair or Barack Obama,